So I recently posted a recipe for these Erewhon Copycat raw vegan cinnamon rolls, but I thought I could do something to make them maybe a little bit more healthy and digestible. So that's what this video is going to show you. I think I have a good solution. So I like a lot of recommendations in the Nourishing Traditions book by Sally Fallon, and she mentions soaking a lot of different grains and nuts. She goes into details about the how and the why, and that's what I wanted to incorporate into this recipe. I'll go through the whole recipe, but really the only change is that I took the 2 cups of organic rolled oats and I soaked them overnight with 2 cups of water and 4 tablespoons or 1/4 cup of whey. You could also use lemon juice if you want to keep this completely vegan. After they soaked, I drained them pretty well. I probably left them in the colander for about 15-20 minutes, and then I dumped those into my food processor. Next, I added a 1/2 cup of pecans and 2 teaspoons of vanilla. There's also a dash of salt, and then that's when I added my psyllium, and this was added dry, and that's a 1/4 cup of psyllium husks. I also added a 1/4 cup of maple syrup. So again, this is exactly the same recipe, just a little bit different order. You may wonder what the difference is. Well, soaking those oats overnight improves the digestibility. That can make absorbing the minerals in the oats, like the iron, zinc, and calcium, a whole lot easier, and it helps support gut bacteria. I urge you to do your own research on that. After you process this, it'll be very sticky and dough-like, and you'll want to put that onto a piece of parchment paper. Use another piece of parchment paper to cover it, and then we're going to roll this out just like we did before in the other recipe. Roll this out nice and thin, maybe 1/4 to a 1/2 inch thick, into a big rectangle. To make the filling, we're going to take 10 pitted medjool dates, and we're going to put them in a bowl with some hot water, and we'll let those soak for about 15 to 20 minutes just to make sure that they're nice and soft. It makes it a whole lot easier to process. After they soak, just put them into your blender or food processor, and we'll add a few more ingredients. To the dates, we're going to add a 1/2 cup of pecans, a teaspoon of vanilla, a 1/4 cup of water, and a tablespoon of cinnamon. This is all going to get processed together into a nice creamy paste. Once that's done, we'll simply spread this onto our rolled out dough and just make sure it kind of covers from corner to corner. You could leave a little like 2-inch margin on one side just to help seal up the roll once you get this all rolled together. And I'll show you that here in just a second. I did decide to add just a few nuts on top just to add a little bit more texture to these rolls. We'll use the parchment paper to help roll this up as tightly as we can without smushing it. Once that's rolled up, just wrap it in that parchment paper and place it in your fridge for about 30 minutes to firm up. It makes slicing a whole lot easier. I find that about a 3/4 to 1 inch slice is perfect. These have a nice rich flavor. These have a nice soft texture. They retain more moisture, and they are very, very delicious. So I'll show you a comparison with the other ones, which appear a little bit more dry. The crust part is a little bit more crumbly. So they're both delicious. It's just up to you. I just think soaking the oats makes them a little bit more digestible. If you make them both, I'd love to know your opinion below.